Alright, it says excellent connection. I guess we can see that I'm flying a Jordanian C-101, the CC version. And over there, I guess I'll go to the cockpit. If we look at those four little dots here in the square, these are groups of trucks that we will use as target practice. And it's fairly close to our airfield here. We're in Jordan, so I took one of the military bases close to the border with Syria to be able to do this little training flight. So as I wrote in the description, I tried practicing with the bombing tables, dropping Mark 82s, dropping Belugas, and I guess it's the BL-755, the other cluster bomb, and I'm pretty horrible dropping bombs with this plane, so I went like, okay, maybe I'll practice some other time. If I wanted to make something tonight just for fun, figured it would be good to do a video with rockets and guns. If you saw the last video I made with the C-101, it was meant to be a navigation exercise, but I did shoot some rocket and gun. So this time I picked up the other gun, the DEFA with the rotary cannon there. I think it's got like larger 30mm bullets in it, and so we'll fire that and the rocket pods. So you're limited to the 19 rocket pods on the outside only, and you can put some 7 rocket pods on the inside, and that's it. So that's the loadout we have. So if I had to go attack with a low power plane with not a lot of rockets, I'd probably take the F5E because it's got an afterburner and it can carry a few rockets more. It can actually get 4 of the 19 rocket pods. But this one, it's a bit smaller, and so I guess for a country like Jordan, maybe with more limited military budgets, I could do the trick. So as I said, we're going to go on that target to our left, try to get a few rockets on target, and then maybe shoot some guns and come back to base here to land. That's pretty much what we're going to do here. So I had already set up a few things, so we'll just double check that. I'll turn my mirror on. So yes, I've got the outside pylons selected. I'm in air-to-ground master arms on. I don't know if we have to put an activation on the rockets because they're basically just pods, but I did put it here on the ROC for rockets. And that means that every time I press the button, I'll be able to shoot a rocket. One of the things I forget a lot when I practice is to remove the guards. So we'll remove them for both the trigger and for the weapon release for the rockets. And I guess we should be lined up here for a nice pass on those trucks. So I'm going to dive on those. I don't know if I'll target 2 groups in one pass or just one, but I can see that we can get fairly precise with this little sight in auto mode once you understand how it works. As you can see, just one pass I could hit quite a few trucks there, and I probably still have quite a few rockets left in the pod, so makes it a decent platform, and it's fairly precise because the trucks aren't moving, and I've got sort of like a flat terrain and everything. The conditions are pretty good. I'm not getting shot at as well. But hey, we're just learning the plane here, so let's enjoy that. So as I think I had mentioned like in the last video, since the trucks I'm using here for target practice are fairly small, I try to put them in that like inner circle of the pipper. And when you get to a certain range where they fit inside, usually you should get a hit. So like right now, like that, you see it fell a bit short, so I still have to visually make sure that I get some hits, which is normally what I do with any plane that has a non-guided pipper for rockets. Just reset this here. There we go. Seems to work a little bit better. Where's my sight? Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower my seat a little bit just to see that a bit better. That's one thing I could have done earlier. Alright, so we've got one group that's burning a lot, two that are partly hit. I'll try to go hit the fourth group, I mean. Oh yeah, and I've mapped my MPR, which allows us to get a little bit extra power once in a while when we need it. When we're climbing after a pass, it can be useful. So let's try it now. See, they still fall a bit short sometimes. I have to wait till I'm almost on them. So how are we doing with those rockets? I go to the outside view, it's simpler. There we go. Got 5, 6, 7 in each pod, and I've got 7 on the inner pods that I haven't used yet. So we've got 14 possible launches before we run out. So let's try to line those two and go after them. And we're diving. Doesn't look like there's much like on this side of the group, it's on the other side, so that's shots from experience there. And these were more or less blind shots, but I think I might have landed a few there on the second group. And that won't fire anymore. So what we'll do is we'll practice something else I've learned. The selective jettison. So these are the center one. The outer is just for air-to-air missiles. And so we can do a selective jettison. And as you can see now, they've dropped off the plane. Of course, like any other plane, it's always a good idea to put the selective jettison to off after you've done that. And then if you want to be able to fire the next weapons, you activate those. Trying to look at which group visually looks like it's got more. Yeah, that last group there. There we go. So if I shoot above the targets like that, maybe the rockets will make it, but as you can see, one went pretty wide, so it's always better to wait a bit. So I guess I fired four out of the 7s, and I got quite a few hits there, so we'll go to another group. And we're empty for that. Get some MPR going. Climb again. And so for the next passes, we're going to go with the guns. These little pods, they're pretty small, so I can probably just leave them there and we'll bring them back to base when we go land. For the guns, I find it sort of seems like a similar method of spraying and praying. So we've got 2 trucks in this group here. Yeah, when you walk the bullets over the targets, it seems to work okay. That wasn't the best pass with the guns though. I've done some better ones. I like to look at my targets and just guess where my plane is as I'm turning, and then I bring in my sights on the target. There we go. Got a few lit up there. So that was a good practice. So let's see if we can find that airfield. Shouldn't be too difficult. It's the only big structures that we have in the area. It's pretty much a large desert here if you look in that direction, but this way there's these little villages, small town around the airfield. Alright, so I think I set my radio already on the right frequency. So let's see if we can call the airfield. Let's test something. We'll just pause, go to F10. And 118.4. So this is not the frequency I have, I think. Let's go back here. Yeah, I've got 116. So what we'll do is we'll switch that. 118.4 or there we go. Let's try that again. ATC to King Abdullah.
Colt 1, inbound. Colt 1, fly heading 14048. QFE 27.56. Runway 31, 2000 altitude.
Okay, so runway 31. Is that the runway 31? We'll just do a pass to determine
Colt
if
1,
that's...
clear for visual, contact tower.
Yeah, that's 3-1. As we can see from those numbers there. We're building a small town here with pretty big buildings. They're still under construction. Alright, so I'll slow down a little bit more. Remove the caution, but I can't remove the little sound there. I guess it wants me to use flaps and maybe my gear. There we go. Go full flaps. Get our feet on the pedals.
Code 1. Check landing gear. Runway 31.
So I guess I won't have to ask for landing. They gave me permission. One of the things I'll try not to do is last time when I landed here, I was braking really heavily and I think I might have fried my brakes because once I stopped the plane, it wouldn't move anymore. So now I'm just pumping the brakes. That's something I learned from the Mirage 2000. In the Mirage 2000, if you tried to brake too much, you would just overheat the brakes. So hopefully I'll still be able to use my differential braking for taxiing. Let's try it here. Does it want to turn? Oh, I'm not sure. It did turn a little bit. Yeah, now I'm braking completely to the right and nothing's happening. Can understand that here the temperature is maybe a bit high, but yeah, it's like the plane doesn't even want to move. Full throttle and then you release. But yeah, it's just jumping on the tires. So maybe I cooked my brake again. I'm not too sure. That's something, again, learning a new module. You never really know what to expect. So because I can't turn, I'm going to have to call the ground crew to bring me to a hangar. So there you go. Had fun with those rockets. Let's go check the ground targets a little bit. So this group is completely destroyed. This group has 1 remaining and smoking. This one has 3 remaining, 1 smoking. This one has 2 remaining, the other one's on fire. So that's not too bad, I guess, for a nice little practice. And we had like 26... No, wait. My math is horrible. 26 times 2. I guess that would be 52 rockets total. So yeah, 52 rockets to do that much damage. It's not too bad. But let's see now that the plane has maybe cooled down if I can taxi. It won't budge. Do I have? Ah, yeah, I have the parking brake on. Maybe that's the thing. Ah, okay. So maybe I didn't overheat the brakes. I just had the switch. So the whole time I was landing, it was on the parking brake. That might explain things, you see? So that's just by looking at things that can cause problems that you find the solutions. I really thought I had cooked my brakes. Some might have seen that on my channel I have a few videos of some of the cars that I take to the track once in a while, and it is something that can happen when you're racing a car in hot temperatures. The brakes will get so hot that you get brake fade and then they don't want to brake much anymore. But someone who would brake and keep the pedal like all the way down could actually get the brakes to jam and cook in place. I've heard stories at the track of guys that put their handbrake after a race, like after doing a few laps, and they try to remove the handbrake, but it stays in place because the pads were so hot that they just stayed on the disc. So that means you need to call a towing to get your car back home. I thought I had a similar situation with my C-101, but no, it was just dumbass me landing with the parking brake. Now, now that I'm parked, I can put it on, and that would be good. But yeah, still learning this plane, and as I said, for the bombs, I'm still not qualified to actually say I would make a video and be satisfied with it. I tried the dives at 30 degrees, and maybe that's why I was gaining a lot of speed and not really feeling I was getting precise. So maybe I'll try at shallower angles or with my own depression, something I'm going to like and feel comfortable with. But for now, it's not very precise, or sometimes the bombs, I guess, they don't explode in order not to explode my plane at the same time. So I hope you enjoyed the little rocket shooting. That's pretty much all I'm going to have for now. So cool handout. Oh, I see a few messages with Sébastien Hébert there. You speak French. Je pilote souvent le F-18. Tu l'as sûrement vu dans certaines des vidéos si tu regardes les lives que j'ai faites. Puis les avions que tu nommes là, je les ai tous aussi. Là, le AV-8B, F-15, F-18, F-4. Alright, so that's it for this video. Don't be shy to comment in the comments section if you enjoyed, if you have questions. I'll be happy to answer.